Hey, I'm Greg, and today I'm interested in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, nostalgia is a pretty big thing these days. You see it really everywhere. You see it with the re release of all the pop culture phenomenons of yesteryear. The Nintendo Entertainment System got re released. You see things like Transformers having a resurgence. You see movies coming back to theaters. And I would have to say that among everything, the thing that I get the most nostalgic about is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, I don't have enough hours in the day to really fully express why I love the Ninja Turtles. So, suffice it to say that they were just a huge part of my life during my formative years. I was introduced when I was about 4 years old, maybe five. The dates are a little fuzzy to me. But it's something that really stuck with me moving forward, and I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today, share some of my treasures from my childhood, and kind of tease a potential video for the future. We'll see. So, I was introduced to the Ninja Turtles by my cousin Ben. He's a few months older than me. He's really the closest thing that I have to a brother, and he's someone that I have really always looked up to. So when I walk into my grandmother's living room one day, and I see that he's sprawled out, and he's got these little hunks of plastic looking a little bit like these, I just, I was so taken aback. I was like, wow, what's this? I think he had a Leonardo, and I think he had Krang, and it was so different from what I was used to with action figures, and it was peculiar, and we started talking about it. And then what really hooked me was when we turned on the TV and we see these bad Larrys. The cartoon was just so huge for me. I cannot say enough about it, and how much I absolutely love this show. I have it on DVD, and I think that this is the best of the best from 1980s cartoons. And obviously that's my opinion, but for me, this is really where it's at. And I was thinking about it today. I don't think that these still work. I think that I watched them so many times that the videotape themselves have gotten demagnetized, which is a real shame. But thankfully they did re-release the cartoon on DVD, and one of the things that I really wanted to talk about with this was how times have changed. This is a fairly violent cartoon. It was a little bit, cartoony in the nature of the violence, but it says for ages 5 and up right there. That is the kind of thing that just would not fly these days. But luckily, I think I was lucky. Luckily, I got to live it at the time. So there we have it. These are two of my prized possessions because I love the Ninja Turtles, and in particular the cartoon, so much. And another blast from the past from that same summer, at least I believe it was from the same summer, it might have been the year after, was boom! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the Nintendo Entertainment System. I love this game. I know that there are a lot of people out there who just feel like it is hot garbage. It's too hard, and the level design is weird, and the turtles are very different from the cartoon, which was really what introduced so many people to them. But I loved it. I was playing this quite a bit during the days where I didn't beat video games. I was so young, I didn't really... I guess I never really progressed in games in general, so that for me, the fact that it was very difficult and I wasn't really able to get to the end, it didn't bother me. And I know that there's a lot of talk about the underwater level and the electric seaweed and so forth. Once you get to the point where you understand the patterns and such, you know, you're able to get through it. It's not that big a deal. And I'm not saying that to be disparaging against anyone, but to me, it didn't bother me. And I just, again, I still love it. It's one of my favorite Nintendo games of all time. And it's one of my favorite of the Ninja Turtle video games as well. So I guess that I would like to now talk about really what taught me that the world is an uncaring place. I'm being over dramatic, but it just, when the Ninja Turtles movie came out, I was just so very excited to see it. I didn't understand that it was going to be so popular. You know, all of my friends were really into the Ninja Turtles, but I didn't really have a concept that movies sell out. So I was in the car. My parents were taking me and one of my best friends, Josh. We were going to go see it, and we pull up to the theater, and the line is not only out the door, the line is wrapped around the building. So needless to say, we did not see it that day, and I will admit to you now, I cried on that day. I cried a lot because I wanted to see it so much. And when I was in first grade when this came out, and it just was devastating to me that I couldn't go see it and I had to wait. But the Ninja Turtles movie it's also one of my favorite movies. You know, I think that it stands up really well today, even though it was very dated, or excuse me, it is very dated. And it was a pretty big departure from the cartoon, which again was my version of the Ninja Turtles. I know that there have been a lot of different versions throughout the years. The comic book is very dark. The cartoon is light and witty. This is kind of almost kind of like a happy medium between the two. You get further along to the Michael Bay films, and you finally kind of start to see them as teenagers would behave, and all of these things. But the movie, I again think is really good. And here's just another little treasure related to the movie. This book is a little companion to the movie. You have pictures from the film. You know, there's little drawn segments here, like personality profile for Leonardo. His favorite saying is "Gimme 3," which was another fun thing that I used to do when I was a wee lad. I used to run around playing Ninja Turtles like this because Ninja Turtles have 3 hands. I was very cool. Okay, I need you to understand that. I was very cool. What happened, Greg? I know. But this is not so much from my childhood, but it's another one of my treasures that I love, and I wanted to share with you all. A lot of people don't know it, but in the very first comic, Leo kills the Shredder. That I was not ready for. You know, it's kind of funny to think, you know, here we have the swords. Leo has 2 katana, which again is made for cutting flesh, but it wasn't something I was prepared for, because for me, the Shredder is this long enduring and major villain, and you know, the creators felt like, hey, you know, he can be their rival, and he can be their main antagonist, but we're gonna kill him right away. So there was that. I think that a lot of people who grew up with the Ninja Turtles have not read the comics. And I think that if you do like the Turtles, if you grew up liking them, you know, this is something that I would say give it a try now. It's much more adult, and I think that you might get a kick out of seeing a much more gritty version of the Turtles. And one more thing, I don't really have anything to show here for this, but I wanted to talk very briefly about it. There was a made-for-TV movie called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Forever, and I think that that's something that's very much worth checking out if you're a Ninja Turtles fan. You get to see the different versions of the Turtles coming together, and so you see the comic versions where they're real tough, dark ninjas, and you see the cartoon version where they're all like, whoa, you know, cowabunga, and so forth. And you see them all come together, and you can really kind of appreciate the different versions of the Turtles that we've had over the years. Not all of them are in there, but I think that it's really something to check out if you have an opportunity. So why am I talking to you about Ninja Turtles today? What got me back interested in them? Well, I can tell you that it is because I recently found out about a fan-made video game called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Rescue Palooza. And this is something that I got really, really excited for, and it's something that really sparked my interest once again. It's something that I would very much like to do a Let's Play video on to share it with you all. So I would say let's cross our fingers that that happens. I am going to try and make one for you in the next few days. So there we have it. There is why I'm talking to you about Ninja Turtles today. And I just want to hear from you all. Do you love the Ninja Turtles? Did you love the Ninja Turtles? Is it something that you kind of grew out of? Is it something that really stuck with you? Do you know anyone who you think would really like this video? If you do, please share it with them and get them in on the discussion as well. As always, I just want to hear from you guys and tell me, what are you into these days? Is there something that you think I should check out and maybe talk about in a future video? Let me know. And I'll see you guys in a few days.